So in recent weeks, I have received urgent requests from Spirit and many other spiritual and religious practitioners around the world to put out a call from all the global light workers to help pray and distantly heal with positive words of energy. So personally, I have dedicated over 25 years of my life to energy healing and meditation practice. However, I have come to the recent realization that I can't do everything alone, and it's always beneficial when like-minded people come together with a common purpose to help heal and uplift the planet Earth. In 2001, I was fortunate to be part of a team of Melbourne-based light workers who came together to hold a mass energy healing and meditation event to help protect and heal Mother Earth and all sentient beings. The energy generated from this collective meditation of over 10,000 participants in person was phenomenal. At the time of the launch of the event, I was travelling across the Earth and I was based in Paris in France. I heard feedback from one of my former military colleagues at my travels, and carrying that healing light energy throughout Asia and Africa and Europe at the time helped to prevent at least one terrorist attack during 2001. And my Melbourne-based spiritual teacher also received feedback from an American intelligence official that our collective 10,000 people healing meditation helped prevent a major terrorist attack in Melbourne in 2001. This just shows that working together as a group, even if it's only 5 people or 10 people with the same intent, the same purpose, can achieve amazing things to help and heal, protect Mother Earth and all of its inhabitants and human beings. So I'm sharing these stories of past meditation and healing events to give you an understanding of how distant energy healing strategies work. And when 2 or more people come together in light and goodwill, you can utilise those energies to make a positive difference to every person, every being across Mother Earth. So the Ring of Fire, this is a major area in the basin of the Pacific Ocean where a large number of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur. It's a 40,000 kilometre horseshoe shaped of various mountain ranges, volcanoes, ocean trenches and islands. This arc produces intense volcanic and seismic earthquake activities across the Pacific Ocean region. So within this Ring of Fire arc, the tectonic movements have active volcanoes and are earthquake hotspots. In this Ring of Fire, it contains 452 dormant and active volcanoes, and 75% of these are the world's active volcanoes. 90% of the deadly tremors and earthquakes from around the global Ring of Fire come from this region. So this Ring of Fire was created due to the tectonic plates sliding and colliding, and this is where the worst earthquakes occur across these plate boundaries. So the countries that are prone to regular movements of tectonic plates include Japan, New Zealand, Indonesia, Turkey, Syria, Italy, China, Philippines, Peru, Iran, Mexico, California and Alaska. So several earthquakes generally occur where tectonic plates and fault line meets, and the tremors are often noted in the middle of these tectonic plates. So in Syria and Turkey in recent weeks, Turkey resides on the 3 fault lines of the global Ring of Fire. That is the Anatolian, the African and the Arabian fault lines, and the Aegean fault line intersects around this Turkish region too. So I've just uploaded maps so you can get a visual for when we do the healing of where to send the energy to. This North Anatolian fault line is the most seismic active fault line in the world. The latest Turkish 7.8 and 7.5 Richter earthquakes occurred near the Syrian border towns called Ekinzu and Nurdagagi. Excuse my mispronunciations. Also the towns of Gaziantep, Aleppo, Latakia, Hama and Idlib in Syria were hit during these quakes, causing further hardship to thousands of refugees already displaced by war. So on the 6th of February, it was estimated around 47,000 people died in the Syrian Turkish earthquake. So search and rescue teams have been still searching for survivors in the rubble, and many of the Syrian hospitals don't have enough room for more patients, and there's a dire shortage of medicines and medical equipment to treat the fractured limbs of people coming into the hospitals there. Turkey and Syria are currently experiencing freezing winter temperatures, with millions of survivors now homeless, living on the streets, being pelted with wind and rain, and the children are suffering physical and mental health issues due to their lack of warmth and malnutrition. On the 20th of February 2023, a less severe earthquake occurred in Samandak in Turkey. It was 6.4 on the Richter scale, and that has resulted in another 8 deaths and the collapse of some high-rise buildings and residential units. So during the course of February, Turkey is estimated to have lost at least 200,000 residential buildings, leaving many of its citizens displaced and living on the streets or in tents. World Vision estimates that around 9 million Turkish citizens are impacted from these earthquakes and tremors, and of those 9 million, 4.5 million are children that are being directly impacted. In Syria, there are around 4 million people directly affected by the disaster, and approximately 2.5 million of those people are children. And geologists suggest that these tremors and earthquakes will continue for several months or years coming. So with these ongoing threats and the additional loss of homes and possessions and loved ones, family, pets and livelihoods, it causes enormous mental stress, anxiety and trauma to both the Turkish and Syrian citizens. The Turkish government and the Syrian government do not have access to the same financial capital, engineering resources, retrofitting and building codes as wealthy earthquake-prone nations such as USA, Japan, have to make their buildings and infrastructure earthquake-proof. We've also recently had earthquakes in New Zealand. That resides on the boundary between two tectonic plates, the Pacific Plate and the Australian Plate, and this region is densely populated island region. On the 15th of February this year, New Zealand was hit by a 6.3 earthquake across the Hawke's Bay area, and that was felt across the North and South Islands. So fortunately, no people died. And New Zealand, as you know, sits on the ring of fire and experiences intense volcanoes and earthquakes. And this ring of fire sits on the Andesite line, where active volcanoes around the Pacific often flare up. So I've included a map that shows you how this fault line goes from New Zealand to Tonga to Fiji, Samoa, New Caledonia and the Solomon Islands. Fortunately, around February 12 of this year, Cyclone Gabriel affected the uppermost region of New Zealand's North Island, and sadly 11 people lost their lives in the devastation of Cyclone Gabriel after being swept away by violent storms and floodwaters. During this storm, parts of New Zealand were hit by severe gale force winds of up to 160 kilometres an hour and 48-hour torrential rainfalls. So homes were flooded and were without power, and businesses and residents and infrastructure has been destroyed and covered in mud. There were reports of 6,500 missing New Zealanders, with 4,000 now confirmed found by the military. This cyclone is not normal activity for New Zealand. Furthermore, many people would have recently heard about the catastrophic Ohio rail disaster that occurred in East Palestine area of Ohio, USA on the evening of February 3, 2023. Fire from the train accident continued to burn for 2 days in East Palestine after the hazardous chemical train accident. Initially, there was little reporting of this in the American mainstream media news channels until a new global news agency started receiving reports from independent journalists based in America. And one such news journalist was illegally arrested for doing his job to report the disaster to the public across the world. It should be noted that a news journalist's role is to bring truth to power and expose stories that people don't want to see. So this man was just doing his job, what he was trained to do. The train that derailed was observed to be on fire for 20 miles before it went off the rails. It's owned by Norfolk Southern Railway, and they said in their media reports on their website they were conducting a controlled breach of several rail cars. So we translate this from corporate speak. This means that they burned all the rail cars with their payloads in order to keep them from exploding. The resulting outcome caused a catastrophic environmental disaster around Ohio and the surrounding states and wildlife reserves and the river basins. Many people, wildlife, livestock and domestic animals and fishes and flora in these regions rely on that basin river system for their survival. The local residents of East Palestine, Ohio, told independent news reporters that they feel alone and unheard. However, they can rest assured that the world has heard their prayers for help and is coming in angelic and human forms from every country to assist them. Coincidentally, a movie filmed around northeast Ohio in 2022 depicts a near identical train derailment carrying hazardous toxins which infect the local area. This was broadcast in late 2022. A number of East Palestine locals were extras on the film set. So an independent journalist from a site called Redacted noted that the Norfolk Southern Rail Company discussed on memos on their website that they plan to do this Ohio train derailment and release toxic chemicals and hazardous waste as part of their elimination strategy. This course of action caused environmental destruction of the river systems of Ohio, caused severe health problems to the life forms living in and around it. So this planned chemical explosion by the owner, Norfolk Southern, has been blasted in recent years for many safety failures. It should be noted the train in question was not equipped with electronic brakes, which would have mitigated some of the release of high hazardous materials, which adversely affected the accident severity. And out of the 50 train cars involved in the crash, 11 were carrying toxic chemicals in their payload. So this explosion of toxic chemicals that derailed caused a nuclear explosion like toxic fumes in the air. With the release of this toxic chemical, human and animal health and environmental health over long term is questionable. So too is the contamination of homes, building, community infrastructure, soil and water, and the decimation of local wildlife and fish stocks. And emergency forces from around Ohio and Pennsylvania and Virginia were deployed to help clean up local derailment, and the Palestine officials were mostly evacuated. The toxic chemicals were released into the air, the river systems and the soil. So local Ohio residents report concerns about their drinking water, even though EPA has declared the water safe to drink. And the plumes of contamination from the chemicals from the derailed train released into the nearby creek systems have seeped into the Ohio River. And other cities receive their drinking water from the river, and its contamination now poses a major threat to human and marine and wildlife. The toxic chemicals are running off into the storm drains and they're flushed down into the rivers, polluting soil and local flora and fauna along the pathways. This Ohio River basin feeds into Missouri River basins and Mississippi and White Rivers and their basins, and it runs off into larger river systems, and they eventually flow out into the open sea waters. And these river basins supply agriculture, hydropower operations, irrigation and local water supplies for states and the citizens around these regions. So there are concerns that the Ohio disaster may ultimately seep toxins into the groundwater, adversely affecting the wells and basins across many American states, impacting agriculture, wildlife, farmlands, people's health and the well-being of livestock, fisheries and bird life. The Ohio residents are showering with bottled water due to the drinking water being contaminated with these toxic chemicals. And many of the local wildlife and fish in and around Ohio are observed to be dead. So several people have noted there are recent train derailments in and around Houston and American states, with many rail strikes by train workers striking due to poor working conditions and questions around maintenance and safety of equipment, resourcing staff and maintenance and safety of trains and the tracks that they run on. It has been noted that the American president and senior American politicians have been surprisingly quiet about this Ohio train disaster, hence the reason why we are covering it. They seem to be more interested in shooting down alleged UFOs that come in the form of weather balloons. So many people around the world and across America are sending healing energy and prayers of support to the people, animals, fish, waterways, river systems, land and air of Ohio and all the surrounding areas, and praying for miraculous healing for all concerned. Moving forward, I'd just like to share with you a quick and simple energy healing technique that I have taught and used successfully over many decades to help people and animals and Mother Earth adversely affected by natural disasters. So we just sit comfortably in a quiet space and ask the Supreme God, the angels, the archangels, the healing angels to descend upon the area and the surrounding landscapes and river systems and air currents to help contain and heal the areas in question, that being Ohio, its surrounding river basins and the surrounding states, Syria and Turkey. I'll provide the maps online, and New Zealand, North and South Islands. Visualise East Palestine, Ohio area and all the surrounding states and river systems. Visualise the entire Turkish and Syrian landmass and all its people, rescue workers, medical workers, aid workers, government and military officials, and all the patients in the hospitals and the people living on the streets. Furthermore, also visualise the North and South Islands of New Zealand, particularly the people adversely affected by the cyclones and recent earthquakes. Visualise them in front of you on a map. Also visualise all the people and animals across Mother Earth who have been hurt in recent years and have physical and mental health problems. Visualise them as points of light dotted across the entire Mother of Earth. To begin the healing process, we chant the mantra Om 12 times slowly and with concentration. Focus on your crown chakra and just chant Om 12 times. So I'll give you a few moments. The mantra Om purifies your thoughts and your energy body, and the mantra Om shifts our consciousness to a higher level. Now visualize the colour light violet. It has an intelligence of its own. It's safe to use when we flood a large area of Mother Earth, its water system, plants and people, animal, fish, trees with its violet energy. Ask this violet energy to assist to transmute or lower in toxic chemicals and energies to the highest form of white, crystalline, healing light. This white light will purify, cleanse, uplift and heal every person, every being, all the animals, all marine life, all the bird life, all the plant life, all the trees, all Mother Earth, all the soil, all the river systems, all the water systems and the ocean. Now flood this entire area across Mother Earth and all the surrounding river systems, all the land masses, the trees, the flora, the fauna, the birds, the animals, the marine life, the people, with a light green energy. This light green energy has a cleansing and a healing effect. Finally, send purifying white light, which contains all the healing properties, to every area and every being and every person across Mother Earth. And ask this white light to transmute the toxins in the air, the soil and all the river systems, all the ocean systems and the waterways, all the trees, the plant life, the rocks, the soil, all the people, the birds, the animals, the marine life, to the highest vibration of white light, dissolving all the toxins and chemicals in the water systems, reoxygenating the river systems, and healing Mother Earth, its soil, its rocks, its trees, its plants, healing all the birds, the animals, the fish, and the humans, and elevating their physical bodies to the highest vibration through this white light. Send more white light to every person, animal, bird, tree, and river and water system who needs energy healing across Mother Earth, particularly in Ohio, parts of America that are affected, Syria, Turkey, and New Zealand. Keep blessing until all the energy stops coming from outside your hands. Just keep blessing, because the more you bless, the more you receive blessings. Now sprinkle golden energy, focus on your crown, sprinkle golden energy, and allow this energy to float and disperse to where it's needed most across Mother Earth to heal the land, the water, the flora, fauna, rocks, the people, the animals, the birds, and the marine life. Seal all of this energy in for 200 years now. Say the word stabilize 3 times. Send the vibrational energy of the plant of rosemary to help cleanse, heal, and purify the land in and around Ohio, Turkey, Syria, and New Zealand, including all their river systems, their oceans, the plants, the trees, the soil, the rock, the animals, plant, bird, and life, and marine kingdoms. Also send the vibrational energy of rose quartz to infuse the back hearts of all people and all beings with peace, love, and light. Now say stabilize, stabilize, stabilize 3 times, stabilizing this energy safely to every person, every being across Mother Earth that needs this healing energy. Visualize an etheric blue sword that you've borrowed from Archangel Michael and cut the energy links between yourself and every person and every being across Mother Earth, and say thank you. Also thank your team in spirit, all the spiritual helpers, the healing angels, the archangels, all the spiritual masters, all the beings of light, your ancestors, the ancestors of the land that have helped in the assistance in this healing. Now with the excess energy, focus on your hands and your feet and send the excess energy down into Mother Earth and say, let Mother Earth be blessed, Mother Earth be healed, let Mother Earth be regenerated. Focus on sending blessings down to Mother Earth for the next 1 minute. When you're finished healing and blessing Mother Earth, get up and either walk around or exercise for at least 10 minutes to safely distribute the energy throughout your energy body. As I was recording this meditation, a flock of galahs and cockatoos just flew right across and around me. So that's a sign from Spirit that we have a lot of assistance from the angelic helpers and many beings across the other earth that support us in this healing. So thank you for your assistance. Namaste.